Hey guys, so tonight for dinner I'm fixing some chicken thighs. I originally talked about how I was going to fix like a Greek style chicken thigh, but I realized that I did not get any lemons and I feel like I'm kind of feeling more of a pesto kind of dish tonight, but I'm still going to use my artichoke hearts and my fire roasted tomatoes and some olives. But I have some pesto left over from one of last week's meals, so I'm going to use that instead on my chicken. And I'm also going to chop up some mushrooms to put in there, and then you just kind of bake it all together in like a casserole dish. So I will show you all how I get all that together. And then on the side, I'm going to fix some of this quinoa in my Instant Pot. I've showed that before in a video, but I'll show you again. It takes like, I think like 12 minutes, I think. So I'll show you all how I do that, and I will go ahead and get started. So first I'm going to take the chicken thighs out, and I usually try to pat them out with like a paper towel to get them dry, and then I put salt and pepper on each side, and I will get those prepared and then go ahead and chop up. I'm not going to use all of these because I'm saving the rest for another meal I have planned this week, so I'm just going to chop up a few mushrooms. So I'm going to get started. So I chopped up my mushrooms, just a few of those, and I'm getting ready to drain my diced tomatoes, and I just realized that I totally opened the wrong ones. I wanted to use the fire roasted diced tomatoes, but I've already opened these up, so I'm just going to use the regular. But I think these would have been better because it's got some better seasoning, but that's okay. I'm just going to use the regular tomatoes, and I'm going to drain this jar of artichoke hearts. So I'm not going to rinse this off because this is where it's marinated, so it's got some good flavoring in there. So I'm going to pour those into a strainer to get the liquid out. I just patted the chicken thighs with a paper towel and then put salt and pepper on each side. And now I'm just going to put them in the casserole dish, kind of spread out, because we are going to put the artichokes, tomatoes, olives, and mushrooms kind of surrounding the chicken. So I just had about half a jar of pesto, but you could use how much pesto you want, but I just scooped some spoonfuls on there, and then I'm just gonna spread it out with this little brush, because any extra that comes off the chicken is gonna mix with the artichokes and tomatoes to give it some flavor. So I'm just gonna spread that on there, and then we will put the veggies kind of in between all of the chicken. So here is the artichokes, tomatoes, and mushrooms. I just threw just like a little bit of olives in there. So I'm just going to mix all that kind of evenly, and then, like I said, just kind of put it in between the chicken, and if some of it gets on top of the chicken, that's okay because it's all just going to kind of cook together. So this is what it looks like when it's all in there, and I had my oven preheating at 425, so it is ready to put in the oven, and I'm going to start with 45 minutes and then see how it cooks, but it might cook faster than that, so I always we'll set it to like 30 and then just adjust the time as needed. But you just want to make sure that your chicken is cooked to 165 degrees Fahrenheit or higher, and that means that it's done. So I'll start with 30, see what it looks like, maybe temp it and see if I need to cook it to 45. So I'm going to throw this in the oven, and then while that is cooking, I'll show you how to cook the Instant Pot quinoa. So for the Instant Pot quinoa, I'm using a cup of quinoa and 1 1/4 cup of water. Last time I made this, it tasted super bland, so I am going to add a little bit of olive oil and some garlic powder, salt, and pepper when I pour it in the pot. But first you actually want to rinse the quinoa under some water So I'm going to rinse it with some water and then throw it in the pot. So now I'm just going to pour the rinsed quinoa in there and then pour in my 1 1/4 cup of water. Now I'm just going to pour a little bit of olive oil to kind of help give it some flavor and some garlic powder and some salt and pepper. I'm just going to give that a little shake. And with this meal you could also, I think pasta would be good with it, or rice, really whatever kind of starch you want, but I think the quinoa is going to taste good with the chicken and all the other stuff in there. So make sure that it's set to sealing and not venting. And then you're going to cook on high pressure for 1 minute. And then you will let it naturally release for 10 minutes. So 1 minute doesn't sound like a lot, but it's going to take it a few minutes to come to pressure. Probably like 10 minutes or so. So the Instant Pot has naturally released for 10 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it off, and then there's no steam to come out. The pan actually dropped before it was done, so I'm going to carefully open it up. And you can see that it is cooked and ready. Hopefully it tastes better than the last time I made it. Hopefully that olive oil and garlic powder will give it some flavor. So this is what it looks like when I put it in the plate. So I've got my quinoa on the bottom, some chicken thighs, the artichokes, tomatoes, mushrooms, and olives, and the pesto sauce. And as you could see when I was pouring it in the bowl, the pesto had like, it was kind of liquidy, so that's good. It's going to give the quinoa some flavor. But again, this would be good maybe with pasta or rice, whatever starch. I've done potatoes with it before. So the chicken thighs did cook at 425 for 35 minutes. So kind of quick dinner, not as fast as like less than 30, but looks pretty good. Hopefully it's got a lot of flavors. I think adding some feta cheese to it would be really good, or some kind of cheese, but we don't have any feta. So I'm going to dig in, but if you like this video, make sure you subscribe to see what I'm cooking next. So I'll see you guys later.